Hello Libra, welcome to this reading. My name is Zane and we are going to be taking a look at the current energy for the sign of Libra for the week of March 28th. Now Libra, do keep in mind that this is a general reading, so take the messages as they resonate, drop the ones that do not, and also check out your sun, moon, and rising signs. Now Libra, I do not offer personal readings. So if you get a message from someone, that is not me, that's someone impersonating me. Please do keep that in mind. Please do not get scammed. I also do exclusive content on my Instagram, so if that's your thing, definitely give me a follow there. But with all that said, let's go ahead and get into this reading. Now, I will be back with the normal deck of cards that I use in the future, but felt guided to use the Rider-Waite Tarot this week, and it also looks better on the wood grain background. So let me go ahead and make sure everything is in view here, and then we'll get right into it for you, Libra. All right. So we'll put this up here. I think that looks good enough to me. So Libra, charging forward this week, you have true happiness available that is coming into you, in here for you in the future. There's been a period of give and take for you. There's been a period of potentially needing to make some sacrifices. I don't know why I'm getting that word of sacrifice. Even though we don't have the Hanged Man, although I wouldn't be surprised to see it come in the clarifications, it does to me seem like some of you have sacrificed something. And you may not see it right now, but in the future you could get some sort of, you may see the outcome of this sacrifice that you made here in the future, and it could be pretty good for you, I do have to say. There is one maybe kind of roadblock showing up, but we'll talk about it more, and that's just kind of my opening thoughts on the first 5 cards. We always go through and clarify, but right away in the middle, you have this Chariot card. So this middle card here is your overall message. This helps kind of guide the reading. And the Chariot is an amazing card to get. The Chariot is guiding themselves somewhere new. They are kind of in this vehicle here. They're in this Chariot and they're charging into a new space, into a new place, into a new zone, into their life. And the Chariot represents the overcoming of some sort of external obstacle, right? So this is something that obviously is happening outside of you. So like, I don't know, this might come forward when you're like being thrown a curveball and you hit the curveball out of the park, right? Or you know, there's a roadblock, you drive right through the roadblock. Like, you know, this talks about you successfully being ready to deal with any difficulty. And you can also see the star pattern here on the canopy above. That indicates the universe, right? This indicates support from the universe as you have self-discipline, because the Chariot's also about self-discipline. So you have this support from the universe. The Sphinx indicate Earth. And so as it is done in the universe, it is done down here. As above, so below. That's what this Chariot card also talks about, where, you know, if you're doing the hard work, if you're putting in the energy and effort, is there anything else really that you can do, right? Is there anything else that you can do? And so, yeah, it gives you rewards for doing those sorts of things. Now, in the past, you have the 6 of Pentacles and the King of Cups. So the 6 of Pentacles here is this idea of the act of giving is just as important as receiving. This is this give and take situation that I was talking about. This is actually the card that was really cluing me in potentially to a sacrifice. You may have given to somebody, it's like you may have done some work for somebody without like charging money, or you may have done something for someone without like necessarily knowing if you're going to get paid back, or like there's some sort of situation here where you've freely given to a situation. And I don't know why, it's just in my mind this was coming forward as a sacrifice for you for whatever reason. This could also be as simple as just like offering a helping hand to a friend, like being there for a friend, being there for them on the phone, like maybe you know, talking with somebody, like providing healing information to somebody. This says that eventually you will receive. Okay, this is the 6 of Pentacles rather, is a card of inflow outflow. You can see that there's outflow happening here. This person's giving, but there will eventually also be inflow for them, right? I am somebody who truly believes like when I look at the 6 of Pentacles, I always think of like being the importance of being a good tipper. Like giving a good tip, right? That always comes back to you in life. Like when when you're out for a restaurant or whatever, or you like do valet or whatever, like giving a good tip, eventually within the universe, that always comes back to you some way. Plus it feels like the right thing to do. That's what the Six of Pentacles card is all about. The King of Cups is like having emotional fortitude, right? Taking care of yourself, but also like really being an emotionally mature person, and using that as like a sort of superpower for yourself as you move forward. I feel like some of you have delivered healing information to somebody. Now, in the future, you have the 10 of Cups and the 4 of Cups. So you have a lot of cups here, okay? So 3 of the 4 cards showing up on the board are cups. And then the Chariot, interestingly enough, is the sign of Cancer. Cancer, of course, is a water sign. And so a lot of water here on the board showing up. The 10 of Cups is like, the way I like to describe it is like a windfall of happiness, right? It actually can bring windfalls generally into your life. This is actually a card of abundance in general. You can see the young family here. They own the home behind them. And so for many people, the way that they build generational wealth is by, purchasing real estate, getting into property, anything like that. And so this can represent you potentially getting a windfall, or even setting yourself up for being able to give somebody a windfall in the future. But overall, it's a really nice card of abundance, but it is total happiness. It is true happiness in your life, good family energy, good times, all of those sorts of things. It's the reward at the end of the rainbow here, right? That shows up. And there's also a sense of accomplishment as you see the hills in the background and then the water here flowing, indicating that there's like kind of a natural flow of everything within the universe. You have this 4 of Cups here as well, which is, this person, this is the roadblock for you, and that's coming up in the future. This person is bored, apathetic, and really they're kind of like, this is a card that's associated for me with victimhood, because they're, oops, sorry for bumping the camera, Libra. They have an alternative solution here available to them, but they're not doing anything about it. They're pouting, right? They have their arms folded, their arms crossed. They have a way out of a situation, but they're not taking advantage of it. And so when you get the 4 of Cups, it does say, be careful that you are not allowing opportunities to pass you by in any way. Let's go ahead and move up the pyramid here and see what we have to clarify the situation. So you have the Queen of Swords, you have the 10 of Swords. Wow, you have the Knight of Swords, so we have some air energy coming into the fold here. And the Strength card. Okay. So pretty incredible that we had 3 of 4 cards here in this second layer coming in as air energy. Of course, swords in the tarot represent communication, thought, rationality, logic, thinking, all of those sorts of themes. And so for some of you here, you're looking to get your heart and your mind aligned, is what's going on. The cups energy, the water energy indicating the heart, the intuitiveness, the psychic, the emotions. And then the swords bringing in the logic, the rational, the thinking. So getting your heart and your thoughts, your heart and your mind aligned here, I think is extremely important for you. That's what came to mind as I was looking at these cards that came in. I do wonder what it is about. For some of you, it may be trying to figure out what exactly it is that you want to be doing at this time, right? You need to know what your mission is. You need to know what your mission is. And some of you, I don't know why I'm feeling like there's this mission energy here available, but it's like it's almost like it hasn't connected yet. It can in the future, but it hasn't connected yet. Part of me is feeling about this 4 of Cups that's coming in. The Queen of Swords is somebody who's all about independence, but also intense focus on something, intense focus on a goal, but also just generally about independence in their life. The 10 of Swords is something that's completely done. It's an ending, but even though, obviously the imagery here, the 10 swords are stuck in this person, the imagery there is important, but the 10 of Swords also does say that there's new hope on the horizon, the worst is behind you, and it gives you an opportunity to release yourself from those things that don't work, okay? And so it really depends on if you're a glass half full or glass half empty type of person. When you get the 10 of Swords, there is an ending here. You have the Knight of Swords, which is seizing the day, taking advantage of opportunities. Opposite energy of this 4 of Cups. This person's not taking advantage of the opportunity. The Knight of Swords is. Be careful that you're not impulsive. And then lastly, you have this Strength card here as well, which is really somebody who is like, the Strength card is interesting that you get this, because this is number 8, the Chariot's number 7. Both cards, Strength and Chariot, indicate overcoming obstacles. The difference is the Strength card indicates overcoming an internal obstacle, something that is hard for you personally to do. And with that, it talks about willpower. Okay, it talks about willpower. The Chariot may be a curveball thrown to you outside of you, like external to you. The Strength card is something more about like the way that you feel about yourself, or the way that you view yourself, or needing to have courage to do something. And that's coming in with this 4 of Cups seems significant because everything else seems pretty good for you. Let's move up the pyramid. Okay, wow. You have the Judgment energy, you have the 8 of Cups, and the 3 of Swords. So the Judgment card is significant here because the Judgment is your karma. Okay, Judgment is one of the 2 major karma cards in the tarot. Actually, the 6 of Cups here, or excuse me, the 6 of Pentacles here, do you see the scale on the card? Scales in the tarot can represent karma, but it's not a major, 6 of Pentacles is not a major karma card, but it does have a scale. But any rate, the Judgment card asks you to take a look at the actions you've taken. The actions you've taken are really just the accumulation of your karma. Okay, and so with the Judgment energy, this is more about your rational mind. This is more about your logic mind, and putting all the cards on the table and taking a look at if the actions that you've taken are really what you want to be kind of putting out to the world. And so some of you are really looking at that at this time. The 8 of Cups is walking away from some sort of disappointment. There is a disappointment here in the future. The 3 of Swords is heartbreak, it's separation, it's severance, it's leaving something. It can also say, and remember, it doesn't have to just, the 3 of Swords doesn't have to just be like relationship changes, although it's heavily implied with that. It doesn't have to be. It could also be like friendship change, which is a relationship, right? What I'm talking about is 3 of Swords doesn't have to necessarily be romantic. It can be family changes, friend changes, work changes. Getting severed from a job could come forward with the 3 of Swords. But this is more about you walking away. I don't see like a job loss here. This is more about a life reading. This is a life reading more than anything. I don't get a whole lot of career. We don't have a lot of wands here in this reading. So let's move up the pyramid. Just as I say that, you have the 10 of Wands and the Page of Cups. Okay, 10 of Wands, you've reached the end of your journey. Now what? Where will you go? Where will you go from here? There's a little bit more to go, but there's more to go, but you've kind of taken something as far as you can go with it, okay? When you get that 10 of Cups, so now what? Some of you are asking, now what? You have this Judgment energy here with the Queen of Swords. Now what? Now where do I go? And I think this is like pretty significant for many of you. You have the Page of Cups as well, which is a romantic offer. It's interesting that it's paired with the 3 of Swords as well in the future. And it's also interesting that it's paired with the 8 of Cups. It's almost like one of these situations where as you let go of someone else enters. If you're single or if you're interested in that, that's kind of what I'm feeling. Let's see what's at the top of the pyramid here. You have the Queen of Cups, psychic energy, but really intuitive energy. Queen of Cups is one of the major intuitive cards in the tarot, other than the High Priestess. It's like the number 2 most intuitive card. And so even if you're not like an intuitive, this is telling you that, well, actually everybody's intuitive. That's the thing. Everybody has intuition. Everybody can use intuition. So there's going to be something here in this week that you're really going to need to trust your gut on. You're really going to need to hear what your intuition is telling you. And if you were paying attention at the beginning of this reading, I accidentally showed the bottom card here, but we do have the 8 of Wands on the bottom here, which is a really good sign. 8 of Wands brings swift communication that brings good news into your life. It's something coming in from a distance, but the most important part is it's good news and it's accelerated motion. So something coming in pretty quickly here. Drop this victimhood if you feel like you resonate with that, and something around happiness could come into your life in this week. So thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next reading.